It's Monday morning, September 27th, a little before 5 am, and I am still booting up. Thank goodness, at least I have routines wired in and don't have to think twice before getting on board. Hello, this is Dipti, and welcome back to Life Admin 365. Today I'm sharing with you my untypical Monday morning routine. Untypical because I rarely keep cooking from scratch for a working day, and that too on a Monday? No way. This past weekend was crazy busy. I was catching up on a lot of homekeeping and maintenance things that were being pushed behind for a very long time. By the time I got those things done, weekend was already coming to an end. I barely managed to heat up frozen food. Anyways, knowing that I haven't done meal prep for the upcoming week, I'm ensuring to follow my nighttime kitchen routine to the T. Nighttime kitchen routine means having a clean and a tidy space that is in my vision of work. Since I have open floor concept, my entryway, living room and kitchen are all in one large area, and I need to have all these three areas clean and tidy. My brain does not function when there is mess around me. I always lay out and prep things that can be done in advance. This means keeping lunch bags, lunch boxes, and filled water bottles out on the counter. Keeping my stand mixer out for kneading dough, in this case because I did not have any prepped dough on hand. Keeping food and things out on the counter that are related to my next day's lunch preparation. Tomorrow I'm making peanut butter Nutella sandwiches, so I have bread and Nutella out but not peanut butter, since peanut butter needs to be refrigerated. I will take it out tomorrow when I'm ready to prepare. Tomorrow I'm going to make batata rasa bhaji, so that's why I have these two things out here. Keeping out frozen items for thawing, which include bagels for tomorrow's breakfast, crushed tomatoes for rasa bhaji, and pressure cooked tur dal for making amti. And lastly, clean and tidy kitchen working surfaces, which means clean stove top, a clean sink, water-filled electrical kettle for making tomorrow's coffee, water pitcher filled as well, coffee cup laid out, dishwasher loaded and running, and floors swept and mopped clean. Living area must also be clear of blankets and throws. And then closing the kitchen for the night and heading upstairs. It's about 5:15 a.m. in the morning. Oh well, it's 5:17 actually, and I'm only halfway done through unloading the dishwasher. Today's load is huge. So many containers of previously prepped food have been emptied out over the weekend. In my opinion, this is the most unexciting task. Taking out the pots and pans, plates and bowls, containers and lids, then wiping up any drops of water clinging to the container lids or on the bottoms of the cups and glasses, and then putting them away. Oh! Once these things are out of my way, my mind is much clearer and I am ready to focus and move through my lunch prep. First is to prepare the dough and have it resting. To knead the dough, I am using whey liquid from paneer making. While dough is still kneading, I'm preparing peanut butter and Nutella lunch sandwiches for boys. That's the beauty of using a stand mixer. Not only does it take care of kneading, but it leaves you free to do some other work in that time. Once dough is prepared, it needs to be covered and kept aside until ready to use. One bread slice is smeared with peanut butter and the other with Nutella, and that's it. Easy peasy. Barely took 4 to 5 minutes to prepare. Most of the times I add an apple or banana slices to their peanut butter Nutella sandwiches, but today I don't have either on hand. Kids do get free apples or bagged apple slices in school, so I don't mind skipping these. If they want, they can always take it from school. The next step is to hand knead the dough for a minute or so. It's about 6:15 am and I need to start ramping up my preparations. I'm making only 4 rotis for Milin's lunch. Don't need any more as tonight's dinner is not roti and sabji. Also, I will roll out rotis towards the end. For now, I'm going to oil these small portions, fold them in triangles and keep them aside. I want to get started on making potato bhaji, as bhaji will take some time to cook. I would rather keep making rotis towards the end than keep sabji for the end. As each potato is peeled, place it in water. This will help in retaining the color and prevent the potatoes from darkening. When dicing or cutting potatoes, try to get as uniform pieces as possible. This will help in uniform cooking of the potatoes. Once again, as you dice potatoes, place these diced pieces in water. Not only will water prevent it from discoloration, but it will also help to remove excess surface starch, which in turn will prevent potatoes from becoming sticky or gummy and give a slight bite to the cooked potatoes. Thank goodness, at least I have peeled garlic and ginger pieces. Otherwise, I'd have to spend a few extra minutes peeling these. And in rush of morning, even a few minutes extra spent feels like hours. Anyways, After garlic, it's green chilies and cilantro under knife, then grating ginger pieces, and finally taking out a portion of thawed out crushed tomato puree. I will use finely chopped green chilies, cilantro, and crushed tomatoes for making rasa bhaji as well as amti. Time to move quickly and prepare amti and rasa bhaji. Starting with preparing amti. To this hot oil, I'm adding 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seed, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1/8 teaspoon of hing, followed by a teaspoon or so of finely chopped green chilies. Turning heat to low and adding 1/4 teaspoon turmeric and 1/3 cup crushed tomatoes. Stirring well and mixing. Then adding about half cup of cooked tur dal. Mixing well and then adding 1 cup of water and mixing everything once again. Then adding half a tablespoon of jaggery, salt to taste, and moving it from the front burner to the back burner so that I can start making bhaji. Placing kadai on medium heat and to it adding oil. While oil is heating, quickly checking on amti on the back burner, giving it a quick stir to ensure that all is well with it. Looks like oil is hot and it's time to prepare tadka. To the hot oil, I'm adding half a teaspoon of mustard seeds, half a teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1/4 teaspoon of hing, and finely chopped green chilies, lowering the heat and adding turmeric, then adding grated ginger and pressed garlic, mixing everything well and cooking it for about a minute to take away the rawness of the ginger and garlic. I had very little previously prepped onions, so I just used those instead of chopping a new one. Then goes in about half a cup of crushed tomatoes, giving everything a good stir and cooking for another minute or two. Time for potatoes to go in. Before adding diced potatoes, drain most of the water in which they are soaking and then add them to kadai. Mix them well with the masala, increase heat to medium, cover and cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes. It's almost 7:10 and I can feel the rush setting in. I have only 15 to 20 minutes to finish up cooking and clean kitchen before getting ready for school. Transferring unused cooked dal to a smaller container and refrigerating it. And then transferring the prepared amti to the same large container. Checking on rasa bhaji. Uncovering and giving rasa bhaji a good mix. Then checking to see how far potatoes are cooked. If it takes some time for the spoon to pierce through, then it needs some more cooking time. Adding half a tablespoon of jaggery and salt per taste. Mixing everything well and covering and cooking for an additional 4 to 5 minutes on medium heat. On the other side, I have water heating up for coffee and bagels are in the toaster oven. Aditya is helping me out at this stage. He will finish up making coffee and smear cream cheese on bagels once they are ready and toasted. He's putting away the air-dried containers with lids. Coffee is ready as well as ready to go. I have about 6 to 7 minutes to wrap up before heading for shower and I still haven't made the rotis. Time for bhaji to move to the back burner and for tawa to come forward. While Aditya was finishing up with his task, I was rolling rotis and I have them ready to go. I'm going back and forth between roasting rotis and cleaning the kitchen counters and any miscellaneous work that needs to get done. It is 7:35 a.m. Don't have time to transfer bhaji to a separate container, so for now it remains in this kadai. This is bothering me a lot but can't do much about it. Out the door, it's 7:38 and this is my usual time to leave home and reach school. Alright, I'll catch up with you during my lunch break. It's 11:40 and I have about 20 minutes of lunchtime remaining before I need to be back to school. I'm going to get a few things done to get a head start for my weekly meal prep. First is to prepare bajri or millet paratha dough. Here I have 2 cups of bajri flour or millet flour, 1.5 cups of whole wheat flour, 1.5 cups of full fat yogurt, half a cup kasuri methi, 8 to 10 finely chopped green chilies, 4-inch ginger knob grated, 6 large garlic cloves freshly pressed, 1 tablespoon sesame seeds, 1 tablespoon carom seeds or ajwain, 2 teaspoons roasted and ground cumin seeds, 1 tablespoon jaggery, 2 tablespoons of oil for kneading dough, and spices like red chilies 1 teaspoon, hing half a teaspoon, and turmeric 1 teaspoon. To my stand mixer bowl, I'm adding bajri flour, then whole wheat flour or atta, followed by kasuri methi, finely chopped green chilies, freshly grated and pressed ginger garlic, ground cumin seeds, ajwain which I'm activating by rubbing between my palms, then adding turmeric, hing, red chili powder, salt and jaggery, and lastly sesame seeds. Locking the mixer head in place and stirring the contents of the bowl for a minute, getting all the dry ingredients to blend with each other. Then adding yogurt and oil and starting to knead on number 2 setting of my stand mixer. Continuing to add yogurt in parts until a soft dough is kneaded. All of this kneading is done using yogurt. I don't prefer to add water when I'm making this particular dough. I am looking for a slightly soft dough because this has kasuri methi which is dry and it will absorb the moisture and will eventually firm up the dough. However, if you are using fresh methi, then knead the dough slightly on the firmer side. Going to refrigerate the dough until I'm ready to use it tomorrow. While the dough was kneading, I quickly prepared almond milk. I had soaked half a cup of raw almonds yesterday night and today I'm grinding them with 2 cups of water to get almond milk. Saving half of this unfiltered almond milk for tomorrow's protein shake and using the other half for making my green smoothie. To the unfiltered almond milk remaining in the blender jar, I'm adding half of a medium avocado. Then I'm adding 4 handfuls of frozen spinach leaves. After thoroughly washing and drying spinach, I store them directly without blanching just for making these green smoothies. Anyways, then I'm adding half a cup of frozen blueberries. I always flash freeze blueberries when I buy them in bulk from Costco. I also added a couple of pinches of salt and pepper, but unfortunately I did not record. Then blending everything together to form a smoothie. Transferring most of it to my go-to cup and finishing off the leftover at home. Just in time to head back to school. I will see you after school. It's 10 minutes past 3 p.m. and I'm heading for my dentist appointment. It's a routine 6-month cleaning appointment, so not stressed at all. Now it's about 4:30 p.m. and I'm going directly to my fitness class. It's my second max challenge and today is week 2, day 1. These are the numbers for before. Let's see what these numbers are at the end of week 10. Time to head back home and freshen up. I have eaten a large bowl of veg salad for dinner. Now it's time to continue with some of the meal prep for the week. I had soaked chickpeas, kidney beans and pinto beans during my lunch break and now they are ready to be cooked. It's chickpeas' turn to be pressure cooked first. I have cooked them for 5 whistles and after pressure has naturally released, I'm checking on them. And these look perfectly cooked, not soggy at all. Next, it's the beans' turns to be pressure cooked. Bottom container has pinto beans. On this container, I'm stacking the kidney beans. And once again pressure cooking them for 5 whistles on medium heat. Once pressure is released, I'm checking on them. Kidney beans have been cooked perfectly while pinto beans have become totally mushy. This is exactly the texture that I'm looking for pinto beans because I'm going to be using them along with a little bit of kidney beans to make my refried beans. As soon as the cooked beans and chickpeas have cooled to room temperature, I have transferred them to the storage containers. That way I can keep these pressure cooker containers for soaking in water, which will make cleaning them much easier. So here is what I have on hand. It's dinner time. Dinner is very simple and easy. Plant-based burgers. Today I'm using Impossible Burger patties instead of my usual Beyond Meat burgers. These hardly take any time to cook. Cook for a couple minutes on one side, then flip and cook for a couple more minutes on the other side. During those couple minutes, I'm slicing onions and cheese. When burgers come off the tawa, I'm lightly toasting the burger buns and slightly charring onion slices. Then it's time to assemble the burger. I always forget the order in which the toppings are placed. Is it lettuce on the top or bottom, or does the cheese go in between the patty, the lettuce, between the bun or the patty? I don't really care. But it's fun to put it together just the way you get at burger joints. Anyways, while boys are eating dinner, I'm quickly cleaning my sink and getting ready to go out for my evening walk. Walking is just an excuse. The real reason is to meet friends and have a relaxing time. Plus, there are only few warm nights remaining before winter sets in and I want to enjoy those as much as possible. It's close to 9 p.m. and I am home. Don't have much to do now other than sweep the floors, mop the kitchen area and put away these hand-washed dishes. Checking off my nighttime kitchen routine. Kitchen counters and stovetop are clean. Check. Lunch bag out and ready with filled water bottles. Check. Cooling cooked beans and dals ready to go in the refrigerator. Check. Next day's breakfast out and ready. Check. Living area and entryway neat and tidy. Check. Backpacks ready for next day. Check. Floor swept and kitchen area mopped. check. Ready to close the kitchen till tomorrow morning. These routines are a result of habits developed over a long period of time, not something mastered overnight. One habit at a time. I hope you enjoyed watching today's video and got some value from it. If you liked it, then please give it a big thumbs up and share it with your family and friends. And if you haven't already subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel for more videos on meal planning, meal prepping and everything home related. Thank you so much. See you all in the next one.